And then we will say hello, 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 and welcome everybody to another stream today. We are doing a hardcore restart of the stream because I had some technical difficulties that I needed to address, and those have been addressed, so now we are ready to play our game today. So welcome to the stream. My name is Princess Evillan. If you don't know who I am, I'm a streamer here on Twitch, and I post all my content, everything I do, onto youtube.com/@princessevillanvods. So if you're interested in other games that I've been playing, you can go check out the VODs channel and check those out. So yeah. Anyway, today is Visual Novel Friday, so we will be playing another visual novel. This one is new to me, but well, not even new to me. I played this we're playing Highway Blossoms. I played this a little bit a couple years ago. I played like maybe 2 or 3 chapters, and I just completely forgot about it with stuff going on in life and whatnot. So now we're back to playing it. So let's get on with it, shall we? New game. The music ends. The cassette clicks to a stop. I've listened to it so many times I've even memorized the placement of the static from the song's original broadcasts. I'm worried the deck might eventually eat the tape, but it never happened to him no matter how many times he played the damn thing, so I'm not too scared. It used to drive me crazy. Every day he played it over and over again. Sure, he would throw on something different after a few loops, but soon enough he'd switch back and the cycle would repeat itself. Sometimes I think he would do it just to mess with me. I'd be in the back in bed, smothering a pillow over my head to block out the music. He would just turn it up louder, even during all-nighters. That was so like him. Even near the end, when we had to finally settle down, he was still pulling that kind of crap. I'd come home from school sometimes, and the police would be at the door because the entire block had called a noise complaint. He said it was because he was hard of hearing, but I know he did it just to get a rise out of the old grouches who lived nearby. I think that was his worst fear, ending up just another bitter sack of bones. So he did everything in his power to be the exact opposite, right up until the end. Of course, that meant I always had to deal with the fallout. I can't imagine what the neighbors thought, seeing a little girl go door to door apologizing because some old man decided it would be funny to put plastic flamingos all over their award-winning lawns. I can't help but smile, just a little, even if it does hurt. Take a sip of my coffee. Outside, a heat haze shimmers over the never-ending oceans of sand. So much desert. Even Roswell was just rocks, sand, and a few shacks, all alien-themed, of course. Didn't see any UFOs, though. I'm not used to how dry everything is. Even with the AC on high enough to rip off my eyebrows, I'm still all sweaty. Guess that's what happens when you laze around in snowy Colorado for a decade. In that regard, the desert is a nice change of scenery. I don't exactly hate it. New sights are nice, especially since his health didn't allow him to do a lot of traveling when I was a little girl. I can see myself getting used to this. Well, maybe another 15 years when I have everything paid off. Ugh, damn it, Amber. Snap out of it. You can worry about that later. This isn't your trip, so stop being so selfish. I push the eject button. I take the tape out and look it over, probably for the 20th time today. Years' worth of brown stains and greasy fingerprints are smudged all over, making it feel grimy to the touch. It still works like a charm, though. There are more cassettes in the glove compartment, a mixture of mine and his, mostly his. I should just play one of those and get it over with. My hand gravitates towards the latch. It'd be okay, right? No. I snatch my hand away from the latch and flip the tape over. Once again, I find myself staring. You should be watching the road. I've said this like every time I play this game. You should be watching the road at this point. You haven't looked up at all. You could like seriously be running into some wild animal out there. The desert is one scary place. There's coyotes and shit. With a sigh, I stick it back into the deck. I reach towards the play button, taking another look to see if the road was still clear. Like always, like, you see her in the window. Isn't? I slam on the brakes, their shriek piercing my skull. A glance in my rearview mirror shows a girl cringing next to an ancient-looking car, covering her ears as I screech down the road. Making a U-turn of dubious legality, I pull up in front of her car, killing the motorhome's engine. I hop out and shield my eyes from the blazing New Mexico sun. Only now do I realize how precious the AC really is. It doesn't take more than several steps before the girl comes bouncing up to me with a look of relief.
Oh my god, thank you, thank you, thank you! I was starting to think no one would ever stop.
With each word, she gets a little closer until we're finally within touching distance of each other, her smiling face now filling my entire field of vision. Her bright auburn hair is done into a girlish side tail, glistening beneath specks of sweat. Standing out in the heat has made her round, pale cheeks a sun-kissed red, but she still looks put together, like the desert would sooner melt her than do any real damage to her looks. I almost feel embarrassed to be in front of someone who's dressed so cutely, her frilly green top and skirt putting my red t-shirt and khakis to shame. It's all brought together by one thing though, her eyes. They're blue, vividly blue, deep and rich, complementing the traces of her misty perfume as she gets closer and closer. Too close, too close, too close. I scramble back and cough, trying to hide any awkwardness.
No problem.
What's she doing out here alone? Driving through? Hell, is she even alone? I peer off into the plains on the side of the road, half expecting a guy to pop out from his hiding place now that some idiot has fallen for their trap. That idiot being me, of course. Much to my surprise, no one does. Instead, the girl continues to stare at me, smiling as she patiently waits for my response. I glance behind her, focusing on her car.
So what's the issue? Your car breakdown?
I think so, yeah. I was driving and I just kind of...
Stopped.
Yeah.
She lowers her head in shame, eyes fixated on her feet, kicking the dust around her.
I'm not much of a car buff, but I can take a look at it.
Her head pops back up, and life returns to her eyes.
Oh, wow! Could you?
Yeah. Can't promise that I can do anything, but I can at least check it out.
That'd be great.
Alright, first things first then.
This thing looks even older than my motorhome. It was probably a nice car once upon a time, but with a dented grille, multiple scratches, and faded murky green color, it's hard to believe such a cute girl was driving it. I slid into the fabric seat and start the ignition. I don't know too much about how this stuff works, just enough to keep the motorhome from giving out, but I can't imagine it's too significant of an issue. Probably just a dead battery or... Big sigh. No gas. A single car passes by, cooling us with a refreshing gust of wind, sprinkled with dirt and sand.
Is something wrong?
Is this a joke?
Oh no, did I break it?
Oh my god.
No, it's just out of gas.
What? No way! Dad said I should have filled up before I left.
Is she for real? Why is this girl in the middle of nowhere by herself? As if trying to force all the ideas into the center of her brain, the girl grabs her head and whines under her breath.
Ah, man, and I didn't charge my phone either. What am I gonna do?
Oh my god, you're a nightmare. I'd offer her mine, but I've never had a cell phone in my life. Seems like you'd have to be pretty absent-minded to forget that, though. She whines once more and turns to me.
Hey, this might seem a little weird,
Oh my god. Oh no.
but could you take me somewhere nearby so I can get some gas?
And what do you know? She actually did it.
How long did you say you've been stuck out here?
I don't know. A few hours, maybe? I've been trying to wave down everyone who drives by, but you were the first to stop.
Hold on, everyone?
Yep.
Oh my god, she's so excited about that. This heat must have fried her brain. Does she have any idea how dangerous that is?
That's probably not a good idea, you know.
She cocks her head to the side and gives me a look of genuine curiosity, like it wasn't obvious or something.
Huh? Why?
Because you're a girl,
Well,
alone.
You know. A cute young girl alone in the middle of the desert? It's just asking for trouble.
Truth.
But you're a cute young girl alone in the middle of a desert.
What?
Her comeback takes me off guard, and I turn away a little, avoiding eye contact.
Yeah, but that's different.
We kind of have like some kind of wits about us that Marina just doesn't have. A smile returns to her face, the same bright one that she showed me when I first pulled over. I'm still avoiding eye contact, but she leans over to the direction I'm looking and continues to smile.
So, do you think you can give me a ride?
She's so obnoxious.
I don't know.
Please! It shouldn't take very long.
This girl, it's like she didn't even listen to what I said. Still, better me than some psycho. Besides, it's not like a small detour will make me late or anything.
I guess it's fine.
Oh, you don't even know, Amber. You're about to get in one hell of a...
I'm not in too big of a rush anyway.
You're gonna get into one hell of a treasure hunt. I'm not in too big of a rush anyway. Before I'm even finished, she's springing off the ground, bouncing to the motorhome.
Hey, wait!
But it's already far too late, and she somehow made her way into the motorhome before its owner, even finding the time to give me a small wave from the passenger seat. I heave a heavy sigh, rubbing my temple as I climb back up into the driver's seat. The key is still dangling in the ignition. I wrench it around and the motorhome roars to life, forcing a surprised squeak out of the girl.
By the way, my name is Marina. Thank you so much for helping me out.
Amber, don't mention it.
They're so cute. They're so individually cute. Like, Marina has such like girlish qualities to her. She's piercing blue eyes, which are just so cute. And then we have Amber, who's more laid back and casual. And I love her hairstyle. It's so cute. Careful not to hit her car, I back the RV up and turn it around, sending us in my original direction. I reach for the play button on the cassette player, finally giving in to temptation, but Marina starts up again.
Why aren't we going the other way? Wasn't there a station a little ways back?
It was more than a little ways back. I saw a sign a few miles ago that said there was a station not too far from here, so we're going there.
Oh wow, I didn't even see that. You're really observant.
Yeah, or you're just really oblivious. That's what I was thinking.
Not really.
Silence falls between us, the roaring of the engine and the swishing of the wind from outside being the only sounds. I take that as my cue and reach for the cassette player once more, finally give...
How do you even drive this thing? It's huge!
Marina spreads her arms out like an eagle unfurling its wings, almost bopping me on the head in the process. I clear my throat and grab her arm out from the air, gently placing it in her lap.
It's not that bad. You get used to it.
She tilts her head to the side and gives a light grunt as if saying, "That's so," and we return to the silence of before. Again, I reach for the cassette player.
So what are you doing out here? Are you going camping? Seems like what you're doing is fun.
I love Marina's voice actress. It's really good. I take a deep breath and hold it on as long as possible before letting it out.
Just traveling. What about you? Why are you out here?
Oh, well, it's kinda silly.
She scratches her head and lets out an embarrassed laugh before staring at her feet. She quiets down and surprisingly stays quiet. Well, looks like that worked. I reach for the cassette player one last time. I stop for a moment to look at the glove compartment and then Marina, who looks lost in thought. Finally, I press play. Click. A pleasant little chime greets me as I enter the station, Marina trailing closely behind. The drive was quiet after I turned the music on. Turning the tables on her and asking what she was doing out there seemed to throw her off. I didn't mean to come off as cold as I did. It's just been ages since I've had a conversation beyond accepting some half-hearted condolences, though to be fair, I haven't really wanted to hold one. The guy behind the counter is busy ringing someone up, so I set out in search for a gas can. The store is one of those big mini-mart places, specifically made for travelers. It's surprisingly clean for a place surrounded by sand. Every corner has an unnatural sanitary shine, accompanied by the scent of citrus cleaning products.
Hey, they have cola flavor here!
I turn and find Marina clutching the slushy machine, her eyes widening like a cat's when tempted with yarn.
Don't most gas stations have it?
She shakes her head but doesn't take her eyes off the machine.
All the places back home only had cherry and raspberry. When we got sick of them, we just had to mix them together. But...
Marina finally turns to me, wearing a face of pure, concentrated sadness.
I left my wallet in the car.
It's the saddest thing I've ever seen. Just looking at her, I can feel my heart break. Wait a second.
How were you expecting to pay for the gas?
I don't know. I just remembered.
How did she last 5 minutes out in the desert?
Fine, I guess I'll pay for it.
Generous as ever, Amber.
Really?
Yeah. And grab yourself one of those slushies too. But make it a small one.
Her pure concentrated sadness melted into pure concentrated happiness.
You're the best, Amber.
She grabs the cup and holds down the button until the slushie overflows and drips down the side. I was going to pay for the gas anyway, but I'm hoping the drink makes up for the drive over. I spot the gas cans and with Marina happily sipping her drink, grab one and head for the counter. The guy at the register is still ringing up the same girl. Lines of flimsy plastic bags line the counter, filled with a mixture of off-brand junk food and gardening tools. He scans the items as the girl digs through her wallet, her banana-wrapped head pressing a phone against her shoulder.
Aren't you supposed to be the badass mechanic? What good are you if you're not?
She swipes out a card and hands it to the cashier, more interested in staring at her nails than looking at him.
How the hell would I know? Have the squirt tech underneath if you're so curious.
On the other end of the line, I can hear the faintest of squabbling. I can't make out anything they're saying, but the tone sounds worlds more tolerable than the girl's.
If it's that old, then I say do it. Cash is cash. It's not like anyone's gonna care. You better not take as long as last time, though. I'll be waiting for you slackers outside.
The girl slips her phone back into the crevices of her dangerously unzipped jumpsuit. What little clothing she has on underneath looks like it's going to burst from the slightest movement. Not my type, especially with that personality, but it's hard for me to do anything other than stare. The attendant reaches out to help with the bags, but the girl snaps them away before he can. She shoots him a heated glare that burns straight through the man and into the wall behind him. Turning around, the girl looks at us for a second before rolling her eyes, then marches out the door, the bags weighing her down as they nearly scrape the ground. Yeah, definitely not my type.
Good luck.
Marina and I set the can and nearly empty slushie on the counter.
Will that be all?
Yeah, sorry for more boring than that other girl.
The attendant hacks out a dry cackle and scans the gas can. He flicks his oily ponytail behind his shoulder and then rings up Marina's drink.
Been a lot of folks passing through and stocking up the past few days. It's been a good change of pace. I'm guessing that's why you girls are here too.
Marina eases in towards the counter, nudging herself tightly between me and a rack, her hands creeping over to the slushie.
For what? I'm just heading out to California.
if I don't end up driving myself insane first.
You mean you don't know?
The attendant freezes, forgetting about the scanner in his hand. Blinding red light beams from it onto my chest.
About what?
Why, the treasure.
Marina's hand stops just shy of grabbing the cup.
Treasure?
I know, Amber, I know. The clerk's chubby face morphs into a grin.
You telling me that you girls haven't heard of the treasure in the journal?
I have.
Oh, Marina, you sweetheart. I frown. Embarrassed, Marina looks at the floor again, her cheeks flushing red. I guess she's always just as forward.
Oh, well, I heard about it on the news. It's kind of why I drove down here.
You drove out into the middle of the desert for treasure?
Treasure?
Sorry, but you've lost me.
Not just any treasure, Missy. The miner's treasure.
He says it like that should clarify what he meant. I stare at him. He stares back. Marina sips the last dregs of her slushie.
You honestly don't know.
Not a clue. Are you gonna change that?
A little feisty, ain't you?
Not nearly as feisty as the girl who was here before.
Not really. Just have stuff to do.
Fair enough. A little while back, some folks were going through all the trash in their garage. As fate would have it, they came across an old journal.
Do you hear that bass line? The soundtrack is killer.
Turns out the thing belonged to their great uncle. Or maybe it was their great grandfather. I don't know. Some dead old man.
I cut him off with a cough, a polite hint for him to either get on with it or quit his yammering. Despite apparently knowing all this, Marina continues to stay focused with rapt attention. Sometimes her drink makes that annoying slurping sound again.
Sorry. I'll try keeping it short. Anyway, after flipping through it, they found out that he'd struck it rich during the gold rush.
If he struck it rich, then wouldn't the family know about it? They'd have to be pretty well off, right?
Oh, I can answer that. He went back home to Missouri without any gold and told all his friends he hid it.
By now, the slushie is all gone. Marina tries for one last sip, but all that sucked through the straw is air. She peers down into the cup and blows a small sigh.
No one believed him, though.
I raise an eyebrow. If even this girl knows about it, then I must be more out of the loop than I thought.
Well now, looks like Sister here has been doing her research.
The attendant leans into the counter and smirks.
Story goes, he wanted to eventually move his family out west and dig his gold back up along the way, but kicked it before he could.
He slides his thumb along his neck and makes a cheesy sound effect to go with it. Marina giggles, but I just keep staring.
The folks that found the journal ended up selling it to some hotshot publishing house. Now everyone wants to retrace his steps and find the treasure. Shipments
cute.
have been selling like hotcakes. Just got ours last week.
Treasures of the desert. He points to a rack of identical books sitting by the door. A sign hanging above it reads, "Treasure of the Desert, a miner's journey. Take part in the new gold rush." Yeah, that'll stick in people's heads.
And people are really buying into this?
Sure are. I've worked here for over 20 years, and never have I seen this many people passing through. Even the Banshee before you was here for some supplies and a journal.
Sure, okay, this is a hoax if I've ever seen one.
And where is this supposed treasure?
No one knows. It's all scattered around the desert. They say the journal has hints to its whereabouts.
Uh-huh.
Huh.
Marina, you said this is why you drove out here.
Yep, that's right.
But you don't really believe the treasure exists, do you?
Sure I do.
She pauses to think.
At least, I want to. But wouldn't it be super cool if there was treasure?
Sure, it would be cool. But there's a good chance there isn't. And even if there were, do you know where to start looking?
No, not really. I never got that far. I don't even have a copy of the journal.
She lowers her head like she knows there's a good chance that what I'm saying is true.
But I have to try.
Her voice is soft and quiet, but there's a faint glow of determination behind it. It makes me feel ashamed for scolding, but the idea that she dropped everything for treasure is insane. To her credit, she did a little research, but that's canceled out by driving into the desert without a full tank of gas. She wasn't prepared at all. The people who care about her must be worried sick. I barely even know her, and I'm worried.
Aw, don't be too hard on her, Missy. After all, who can resist a good treasure hunt?
I'm sure that's just good for her business. He looks to Marina and gives a big gummy grin, courtesy of his missing teeth.
Ain't that right, sister?
Marina springs back with a smile of her own.
That's right!
Rolling my eyes, I reach into my pocket and pass some crumpled bills to the clerk. Oops. Yeah, well, I'll believe it when I see it. He shrugs and stuffs the cash into the register, though now I'm just paying for the tank and an empty cup. I pocket the change. I give a casual wave from the exit. That should be good enough, thank you. Marina follows, though a bit more animated, waving her arms like a fan as she says goodbye.
Oh, and sister?
Yeah?
You go ahead and take one of them journals. Free of charge.
Can you do that?
Really?
Marina lights up like a firecracker and bounces up and down like she's the kid again.
Yup.
Oh, wow! Thanks, mister!
In one swift motion, she swipes one of the remaining books off the rack so fast that I swear my eyes are skipping frames.
Hey, Amber! Look! He gave me one for free.
Yes, I see. I heard.
Yeah, I see it.
I tune at her chattering and nod as we walk out into the parking lot so we can finally get the fuel. The attendant shouts one last thing, his voice fading behind the glass of the closing door.
Look on your trip.
Desert people are weird. Desert people are weird.
No way.
Maybe it's further up the road?
Oh god.
I can't believe it. It's gone.
We could have just passed it.
We weren't even away that long. How can it be gone?
We stare at the empty space that once housed a certain ugly green car. I look in every conceivable direction, but there's nothing. Nothing but an ocean of sand and a never-ending stretch of road. Was it towed? No, not out here. Not this quick.
Where the hell did it go?
Yeah, that is kind of weird, isn't it?
Marina, you should be freaking out a lot more. Marina's hand rests against her cheek as she looks out with only mild confusion, like she's trying to solve a small mystery.
Your car is missing! That's more than a little weird.
Deep breaths, Amber, deep breaths.
Well, it's actually my big brother's car. He just lent it to me when he left for college.
Oh, well that makes everything better then.
Really?
No, Marina, not at all.
No!
I let out a heavy sigh and pressed my fingers to my temple, attempting to massage away the stress and irritation.
It was probably stolen. We'll need to call the police. You have a phone, right?
It was in the car.
I do, but...
Her voice trails off a cliff. What she said earlier echoes in my head.
That's right. You said it was dead.
Yep.
And I'm guessing you left it in your car.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, that's just great.
Don't you have one?
No.
Nope, never needed one.
Afraid no one would call you?
Marina, that's not the point. Now's not the time.
Not quite.
I shield my eyes and look up at the dry sky. Its color has shifted to a glowing orange as sunset begins to settle over the distant valley peaks. It's going to get dark pretty soon.
Don't worry, Amber. I would call you.
Oh my god, Marina. I can't sleep her. Even if she did have her phone, it would take forever before anyone could get out here. She'd go from burning up in the heat to freezing out in the cold within a few hours. Plus, if there are people around who would steal cars, there's no telling who else is out here. I can already see how all this would go down. She would be huddled on the side of the road, trying to keep warm. A pack of coyotes would all be howling all around her, closing in. Then from down the road, a starved creep would pull up in a trashy old pickup truck, open his door for her, and oh god.
Hey, where are you from? If you don't mind me asking.
Where are you from, Marina?
Oh, I'm from Carlsbad.
She pauses for a moment.
Or at least kinda close to it. It's a little out of the way.
Carlsbad? You're from California?
No, silly! Carlsbad, New Mexico.
There's a Carlsbad, New Mexico?
Oh, right.
Had me going there for a second.
How far is that?
Maybe 2 hours from here?
That's it? You only drove 2 hours?
Wow, you didn't get very far at all, did you?
Marina lowers her head in shame.
I never really seem to.
Though I'm not really one to talk. I've been on the road less than a day. Would have gotten further if traffic on the I-40 wasn't such a pain in the butt, or if I didn't pick up Marina.
Hey, listen. You don't live too far away. If you want, I can probably give you a lift back home.
I prep myself for an explosion of thankful energy and excitement. But there isn't one. Instead, she continues to stare at the ground, her hands now balled up in a fist as she fidgets ever so slightly.
Something wrong?
She shifts her gaze from the ground and looks me straight in the eyes, drawing a deep, long breath.
Remember the treasure we were talking about at the store?
Yeah, what about it?
Yeah?
I know it's a lot to ask, and you've already helped me out so much already.
Marina?
But do you think you could take me to the first place the treasure is?
Oh, Marina.
Huh?
Yeah, I know, Amber. She wants to keep going, even after this entire disaster.
The treasure! Could you take me to the first?
I heard you the first time.
We have no obligation to do any of this.
It's just...
Just take her home. Just drop her off in the middle of Carlsbad. She'll make her way home.
You don't even know if this thing is real, but you've dropped everything to go look for it. And now you're asking me, someone you've just met out in the middle of the desert, to take you to it.
Yeah, it is super weird, Amber.
Even though you don't know if it's real and you've just had your car stolen. Did I catch all that?
Uh-huh.
Marina. Shameless. I'm at a loss for words. How do I even respond to that? I try to recollect my thoughts, but only one word comes to mind.
Why?
Why? Marina shrugs. Nothing more than that. She just shrugs. I take a look at her, a good look. Her wavy hair has been dried out in the hot desert air. Her face is red and drenched in sweat, probably close to melting off her makeup. Even her nice clothes are a little ruffled. But despite all that, this cute, peppy girl wants to keep pressing on. Even when most people would have just called it quits after the car broke down. Even out here, all by herself. For all I know, she could be some weirdo out to mug me, and this is all some elaborate scheme. But she wants my help. My help. It's been a while since anyone has needed that. It's like an honor. Do I deserve that? Probably not. But she's still asking. Why should I say no? I don't have to be in California for another 3 weeks, and isn't that why I'm making this trip? To see the sights for him? She's a little excitable and even more naive. Maybe I need a little bit of that. It's a lot better than just being out here all by myself, nothing but the ghosts in my memories to keep me company, even if it's just for a little while.
Why the hell not? Hop in.
Damn, Amber's so good-natured.
For real?
Marina, you're so lucky we're not a psycho.
Yeah, for real. But only until the first location. After that...
The breath's forced out of me by the sharp impact of Marina tackling my stomach. A warm but damp sensation wraps itself tightly around me as a dead weight snuggles up against my chest.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you!
Marina's voice actress is just killing it.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Oh no! I forgot to turn my phone off. Hold on. What are you doing?
I'm hugging you, silly.
My cheeks grow warmer with each passing second. I try to wriggle my way out, but she stays latched on, her grip getting tighter and tighter.
Marina, please. You're all sweaty.
Sorry. I'm just super happy.
She unlatches herself, letting me clear my throat and recollect myself.
Anyway, let's get inside. I'm burning up out here.
We clamber back inside the motorhome, leaving the dry hellishness behind. I turn the ignition and let the AC blast away the RV's stuffiness. Letting out breaths of sweet relief, Marina and I collapse back into our seats.
Alright, so where's the first piece of the treasure?
Read the journal.
You have no idea, do you?
You have no idea.
That's not true. The news said a part of it was somewhere here in New Mexico. Probably.
I'm not surprised at all. Should have seen this coming.
You have the journal?
Yeah?
She hands the cheap paperback book to me. The cover feels like it could fall apart at the turn of a page. The whole thing is fitting of its rustic design. I slide my thumb across the edges to flip through the pages. Thick forewords and passages commenting on the journal's historical significance skip past my eyes, most long enough to be their own book. Finally, a photocopied picture of one of the original entries appears, preserving the faded cursive lettering, the entire thing printed on the next page over. Crusting brown stains and wrinkles engrave the photo. Some of the writing has been scratched out too, like someone made mistakes and couldn't erase them. I hate to admit it, but for something that's probably a sham, the thing looks pretty authentic. With bounty and satisfaction in hand, I am now homeward bound, the perilous journey forthcoming. Through my unrivaled intellect and unmatched ambition, I have succeeded in accomplishing what many believe would no longer prove profitable. Of course, this only comes as a surprise to those around me, not myself. I had traveled this way on the trail with many others from the Missouri Territory, but as my typical characteristic success grew, I could sense the envious stares amongst my so-called peers. The danger eventually grew so great that I wished to flee, but my companions left before I awoke. For what reason, you may ask? I do not know. It is with this in mind that I have taken it upon myself to leave a note for one of my fellow prospectors and to borrow his steed so that I may one day return to settle with my family. But if this journey has taught me anything thus far, it's that jealous, conniving eyes are abundant. But I am no fool. I was reading it, Amber! Yeah, I'm not reading all this crap. Where should I actually start? Let's see, if he left California, lived in Missouri, and probably had something in New Mexico, like Marina said, then what we're looking for is likely a later entry.
Ah, here we are.
Alas, have I reached the final point of division in my travels. During my stay amongst the ruined sanctuary, the rogue native Lamasi had informed me of a landmark that was rich in the mythos of his people. Considered sacred, he said that the chance of the gold being discovered would be very slim. He referred to it as a winged rock, a monument erected towards the sky. After my previous detour, I finally arrived. It is with much disbelief, I must say, my friend Lamasi was right. It is not just a monument erected towards the sky, it is a mountain. Almost as if the Lord himself had struck up the earth among the sand. It is guarded by trails of rocks around it, all branching from the mother rock. On this journey, I have encountered many different sights, dangers, and yes, even an occasional friend. As I look upon the mountain before me, I am reminded once more that there are things bigger and greater than I. Although I am not yet rid of this cough, my soul has been humbled and removed of fatigue. I could think of no better place to store the last of my gold, and I anxiously await the day I return.
What does it say?
Ooh, journal get.
The gist of it is that it's near a big rock and a bunch of little rocks.
That should narrow it down, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah, to the entire state of New Mexico.
Marina gasps and lunges towards the journal, the muscles in her neck tensed and eyes wide with panic.
That can't be the only thing he mentioned. There has to be more.
I raise the journal high above me so she can't reach it, using my hand as a blockade against her head as she desperately tries to grasp for it.
Sheesh, relax for a second. I actually have a pretty good idea of where it might be.
She settles down, still stiff with anxiety, nibbling on the tip of her thumb. I lower the book back down and read over the entry once more, just to make sure.
There's a part where he calls it a winged rock. Assuming my years of reading travel guides and brochures weren't totally useless, then I'm pretty sure that's a loose translation of what the Navajo used to call shiprock.
There's a ship out in the desert? Whoa.
I peer over the journal. Marina's imagination is going bonkers, her eyes alight as she tries to wrap her head around the novelty of such a thing even existing.
How long have you lived in New Mexico?
Marina swells up with pride, only to deflate like a balloon before speaking, and instead choosing to blow a misplaced strand of hair out of the way.
Oh, my life.
I sigh and slam the journal shut.
It's a small mountain near the border of New Mexico and Utah that's vaguely shaped like a ship.
Oh, okay. That makes way more sense.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. Thing's a landmark.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah. But hey, at least I know now.
That's true, Marina. Shrugging, I put away the journal and smirked. Misplaced as it may be, her cheeriness is a good mix-up from the norm.
Do you think the treasure might be there?
Don't know, but it's worth a shot. We don't have anything else to go on.
Very true.
Sure you don't want me to just take you home?
Marina hesitates for a moment, turning to the windshield as if to dodge the question with her eyes.
No, I think I want to do this.
Alright then.
Alright. I'd put the car in drive and look ahead. The sun is set, the blue shade of dusk rising up to take its place. I press down on the gas. Marina turns to me and smiles.
Let's hit the road.
Let's hit the road. The sun has long since set and given way to darkness. Only my headlights remain, illuminating the road and silhouetting the small rock formations around us. I've been alternating between the old tape and new ones, immediately throwing on the old tape after finishing a new one, and vice versa. I haven't had any complaints from Marina. She's been sitting at my side the entire time, softly humming off-key to the music. She seems to be the type to accept things just as they are, like with her car being stolen or that treasure. Especially that treasure. And to make it worse, it's not just her. Apparently it's some phenomenon now. It goes to show how much I keep up with current events. But the whole thing smells like a scam. I bet somewhere all the big shots from that publishing house are gathered up in their corporate tower, laughing at the idiots they ripped off with that book. Christ, I'm even starting to sound like him. The music turns to static before the cassette is silenced by a loud click. I eject it and reach for his old tape again. Marina notices, taking the opportunity to break the long-held silence.
So, do you like music a lot?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
I figured. You've been playing those tapes this entire time.
She picks up one of the tapes on the center console and inspects it, going as far as to poke her pinky through one of the holes. I would too.
Though, I'm not sure what you'd call this type of music.
Yeah, I've just been playing whatever. Mostly jazz fusion and alt country. Throw in some new age crap in there for good measure. Most of these are mixtapes I made when I was little.
That's cute.
Cool. Any names I'd recognize?
Probably not. She peeks at me through the holes of the cassette, wearing a wide, genuine smile.
Probably not.
Aw, come on. Try me.
Eh, why not? Maybe I'm not giving her enough credit.
You know, Gabriel, Gertu, Weather Report, Donovan, Methany.
Marina gives sage-like nods and grunts of understanding as I list off the names.
You have no idea who any of them are, do you?
Nope.
Not a clue.
That's what I thought.
Sorry. I usually listen to whatever's on the radio.
Radio music. I crack a slight smile.
It's alright. I could see how it might be hard to get into. My gramps used to call it road trip music.
I still think it's nice, though. It's making you really happy.
You think so?
She taps her finger gently against my cheek. I pull away a little, but let her do it anyway.
Yeah, why else would you be smiling?
I've never really thought of whether it made me happy before, but I do know that it made him happy, so I guess that's good enough for me.
That's actually why I'm going to California. You know, for a music festival.
Nice.
For real? Where?
Not far from Palm Springs.
Palm Springs? Like the actual Palm Springs?
Don't know if there are any other Palm Springs in California, but yeah, they do it every year for a few weekends.
I went to my first concert a little before I graduated.
She rests her head against the window and stares off at the road ahead, her smile fading but still there.
It was so much fun. An entire weekend of that sounds super awesome.
Nah, it ain't that cool.
Marina flings her head away from the window and turns to me. Now she's staring at me like I'm crazy.
How could you even say that? It's the coolest thing ever! I wouldn't even be able to wait. I'd want to see all the bands.
Sheesh, relax. It's not like I'm taking it for granted. It's just that there's only one group I know I want to see so far.
That's right, his favorite group.
Just one?
He was so excited when he got the tickets.
Just one that I'm excited for. I'll watch a bunch though.
Releasing a long sigh, Marina eases back into her seat.
Oh, good. I was afraid you were going to head home after you saw your group.
You crazy? I'd like to at least have a little fun before worrying about all the expenses I gotta deal with.
Ooh, that drop in tone. Did you hear that?
Expenses?
Damn it.
It's nothing.
She gasps.
Are you in debt? Is it college loans? My brother said those aren't fun to deal with at all.
Got too comfortable. Should've just kept my trap shut.
Or did you just spend too much on your
Without warning, I swerve off to the side of the road and onto the rocky sand, cutting Marina off and nearly giving her a heart attack. Marina shoots me a worried glance, her face still pale.
Oh my god! What was that? Are you okay?
I pinch the bridge of my nose and my elbows on the wheel.
Amber?
I've been driving all day. I'm a little tired.
Where are we?
A little outside Albuquerque, so we aren't too far now.
Okay.
We'll sleep here tonight and drive to Shiprock first thing in the morning.
Sounds good to me. Killing the ignition, I climb out of my seat and into the living quarters. Marina trails behind me. I yank open the bathroom's Velcro latched cupboards. Inside is this folded stack with a blanket, sheet pillow, and my old gym clothes from school. I scoop them up and toss them to Marina. She scrambles to catch it, desperately balancing them as they lean out of her arms.
Sorry about the clothes. I don't have any actual pajamas. You can sleep on the couch. It folds out into a bed.
Oh, okay.
Alright then, see you in the morning.
With that, I step into the back room and slam the sliding door before collapsing onto the oversized bed. Even in the darkness, I can make out the pictures hanging on the wall. Once upon a time, they were generic scenic pieces. Now they're photos. Photos of me and Gramps. My favorite is the one in front of us. My favorite is the one of us in front of a museum for music. Rock and roll, to be specific. I was just a little pipsqueak back then, holding up an autographed vinyl sleeve that was about the size of my head. He was by my side, squatting down and ruffling my hair as the biggest smile I could, even with my missing teeth. I let out a sigh and fixated on the ceiling skylight, a small sliver of the moonlight shining through. It felt like an eternity since I've last laid down on this bed. I remember it felt like being hugged by a cloud. Now it feels like concrete. Tiny creaks sound from the room next door, accompanied by Marina's little squeaks of determination as she struggles with the fold-out bed, until finally I hear a loud thud. I can't help but smirk a little. I should have warned her that it was heavy. The room over goes silent. I hope it didn't crush her. Luckily, I soon hear footsteps tiptoeing across the carpet, then onto the bathroom tile. They stop outside my door.
Hey, are you awake?
Her voice is weak, barely above a whisper. It's almost impossible to hear as it's muffled through the door.
I know I've said it a lot already, but I really mean it. Thanks, Amber. Good night.
I continue to stay silent. In the dark, the ceiling looks like it's constantly changing in size and dimension, sometimes getting bigger and further away, other times getting closer and smaller. I look down. Through the crack under the door, I can see her shadow turning around to leave. The words slip out of my mouth before she can even take her first step.
Night, kiddo.
Cute. Highway Blossoms. We've made it to the title screen, guys. Like an hour and a half later. Most people would imagine Indian reservations as tucked away slices of heaven, maybe some pocketed oasis of vibrant greens and flowing water in what is otherwise wasteland. Those people are wrong. The Navajo reservation is as sandy and barren as the rest of the desert, and at 22,475 miles, it's neither green nor fun-sized. Not that I hate it. Miles of faded highway roads speed past me, blending together with the sand that stretches out to the far-off rigid mountains. Like there's a rhythm to it all. Behind me, Marina's still stretched out on the folded-out bed, cuddling the pillow, a substitute for her blanket that's long since fallen off her bed. My old gym's clothes are a little small for her, the shorts only reaching halfway down her thighs. But hey, I'm not complaining. Soon we're rolling into town, its jagged namesake peeking over the horizon, Shiprock. The town itself is typical for this desert, nothing fancy like a high-rise, just a whole lot of plain shacks sitting on top of gravel, painted worn browns and beiges. From behind me, there's a light, almost fluffy yawn. I wonder how that bundle of joy handles mornings.
Morning.
Oh, hey. You're finally awake.
Uh-huh.
She yawns again and flips back against the bed. Guess she's not a morning person.
And there's still some coffee in the...
Oh, wow! Is that Shiprock?
Oh my god, Marina. I take it back. Marina rushes behind me and grabs the back of the seats, her eyes sparkling.
It's huge! I can't believe we can see it from so far away!
On closer inspection, my clothes are way too tight for her. My poor shirt is being stretched to its limit. She got big boobs. She got big booba. Of course, this doesn't seem to bother her at all. I don't know if I'm more embarrassed for myself or for her.
Well, we have to get moving now. So go get dressed or whatever.
Sure thing.
She scampers off to the back, finally giving me room to breathe as I make my way to the driver's seat. Until I accidentally glance at the rearview mirror. In the middle of the motorhome, Marina slips out of her pajamas and into her regular clothes. Geez, the bathroom is right there. I adjust the mirror and try my hardest to stay focused on anything else I can look at. Fully dressed, Marina pops back up beside me and settles in the passenger seat. The desolate road continues until suddenly, as if out of nowhere, we're greeted by a line of cars, RVs, buses, and every other kind of vehicle under this blazing sun. All lumped together, stacked one on top of the other, side by side, and every one of them blasting their horns.
What the...
Whoa, you think this is because of the treasure?
Definitely because of the treasure. I grit my teeth and flop back in my seat. I can only pray these are tourists, and I was the only one dumb enough to humor the scam. We're soon assimilated into the traffic jam. Slowly the motorhome inches forward, but when we finally reach the front, a whole new monster awaits us. Laid out on the dirt, barely in the shadow of the looming mountain, is a giant cluster that can only be described as such. Campers, tents, tarps, booths, you name it. A chaotic horde of people crowd around the entire unorganized mess. I cringe at the very sight of it. I'm in hell. Mina pushes her face against the window in an awe of the sheer insanity.
I don't think I've seen this many people since the concert.
Oh god, is she going to break from the overstimulation? A choir of horns serenade us from behind. Groaning, I pull forward and squeeze the motorhome into the nearest available space, stuffed tightly between everything else. Backing out is going to be a real pain.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go find that treasure.
Oh my god. Marina sits up and nearly leaps out of the car, but I grab her wrist and pull her back into her seat.
Just hold on a second.
Her enthusiasm fades.
Oh, that's right. You were only going to drop me off and leave.
Sorry, but I'm gonna stick around a bit longer.
For real?
She starts sniffling.
You're so nice to me, Amber. I think I might cry.
Oh my god, Marina.
Hold it in. We gotta think of a game plan first.
Okay.
Oh my god. Marina returns to her usual happy-go-lucky self while I grimace at the chaos outside. If I suspend my disbelief and assume the treasure is real, where would we even start? We don't have any equipment.
I guess we may as well start by checking out the place.
I'm the first to make my way out into the sea of people. My nose is assaulted with the smells of campfires and BO masked in suntan lotion. Smells like tourist, alright. Marina finishes her run around the motorhome and huddles close to me, her eyes still wide with wonder, but far less gung-ho than before. The two of us make our way through the makeshift campground, following a guardrail that's been set up to separate the visitors from the rock. All the while, we pass different scenes starring all sorts of people. A news anchor elbowing nosy hecklers out of the way while she tries to report. Men on top of motorhomes and lawn chairs, strumming away on guitars. Even vendors have set up shop here, selling overripened fruit from their booths. Marina is speechless, looking on in overwhelmed curiosity and hovering so close I keep tripping over her. I'm half expecting her to grab onto one of my belt loops. I'm surprised. I pegged her to be pretty good with crowds.
Please stay behind the guardrail! I repeat, please stay behind the guardrail!
I forgot about this part. That's so good. A booming voice shouts over the crackling of a megaphone. Pushing through the crowd, we're shoved into a part of the crowd that's mobbing by an opening in the guardrail. They're barred from advancing by a lone man standing on top of a folding chair and clutching his megaphone like a shotgun.
Stay behind the guardrail! Please be considerate of Navajo land!
What's going on?
Not sure. I think.
The sun reflects off the truck behind it. I squint my eyes at the word printed on its side. Navajo Parks and Recreation.
This could get nasty.
Maybe they're moshing. People did that at the concert.
Yeah, but people don't mosh just in general, Marina.
Just what the hell kind of concert did you go to anyway? Wait a second.
In the back of the mosh, distant from the calamity, is a familiar sight. Blonde hair intertwined and running through a dark red bandana.
What's wrong?
It's that girl.
Remember that loud chick from the gas station?
A little. I was too busy with my slushie to really notice.
Oh my gosh.
Why?
I think we just found our first lead.
My voice trails off and I start towards the girl, pushing my way through the crowd.
Hey, Amber! Wait!
Hurry up, Marina. Putting on my person mask, I take a breath and place my hand on her shoulder with a forced smile.
For the last time, old man, I don't have any!
Huh?
Huh? She whips around, her eyes prepared for murder, but her features switch to standby mode as she realizes her mistake.
Oh.
Sorry, but didn't I see you at that convenience store yesterday?
Oh yeah, that dump. Outside of Roswell, right?
Yep, that was us. I'm Amber. The other girl is Marina.
Marina waves and I extend my hand. The girl's eyes narrow, but she eventually shakes it with a surprisingly strong grip.
Mariah.
Hey, Mariah.
Everyone here for the treasure?
They'd be idiots if they weren't.
Hey, what do you know? You were right, Amber.
You say that like it's a good thing.
You guys here for the gold too? Not sure why else somebody would come out
She looks over the scenery and wrinkles her nose.
to this place.
The ray of sunshine next to me is looking for the gold. I'm just the ride.
Step away from the guardrail! You're all getting out of hand!
Oh my god. The horde presses in, the yelling grows louder.
You aren't getting through, so I don't even know why.
A can of beer flies through the air and cracks him on the forehead, the liquid running down his face.
Oh, come on!
Oh, poor guy.
Navajo Parks and Recreation. They are trying to keep well-meaning treasure hunters from carving up the rock because of its religious significance.
Oh my gosh.
Doesn't surprise me.
This
This is a four-corner state, so there's lots of stuff like that out here.
I think it's sweet that they're trying to protect big ol' Shippy.
Big ol' Shippy? Mariah stares at her as if questioning her entire existence.
But it's a rock.
So?
It's only good for postcards and carving big monuments. Why is it such a big deal if people want to look for treasure up there?
Well, it's not gonna make much of a difference either way.
Why's that? You a non-believer?
No, I'm just not a sucker.
That's not very nice, Amber.
Well, it's true.
It is true.
It's obvious that this is just an elaborate scam and everyone got ripped off.
Before I finish my sentence, a cocky, overgrown smile makes its way onto Mariah's face, oozing with snide confidence.
What if I told you I could prove the treasure is real?
Oh my god, Mariah.
I'd say you're full of it.
Does that mean the treasure's real? Like, honest to goodness real?
Overwhelmed with excitement, Marina springs up and down, all while Mariah gives a smug nod.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
Oh, ye of little faith. I said I could prove it, didn't I?
And how exactly are you gonna do that?
Come back to my base full of highly trained elite treasure hunters. Then I'll show you.
Elite what now?
Highly trained elite treasure hunters.
Right. Thanks, but no thanks. We'll pass.
What? But why?
Well, because...
You said we needed a game plan, right? This is the best chance we have right now.
A terrifying amount of determination emanates from her as she forces an unwavering stare on me. Her gaze intensifies. I look down at my dusty shoes and finally give in.
Jeez, if it'll make you that happy, I'll do it.
Yay! She's really damn determined, I'll give her that much. I'm not sure if I could have said no.
But this better be legit, you hear?
I point to Mariah.
I'm not in the mood to be jerked around today.
Yeah, I'll keep my word.
Hey! Stop it!
We look back to the crowd. The guardrails have toppled over, and the crowd surged towards the man.
I'm warning you to stay back! I have a megaphone!
The crowd circles in around the chair and topples it over, the man crashing down with it.
We should probably scram.
Way ahead of you.
Sleek and lavish, Mariah's motorhome is like a mansion on wheels. Its chromy black paint is so fresh that you can practically smell the primer.
Here we are. Base, sweet base.
She throws the door open.
Joe, Tess, buck up. We have guests.
Marina and I shoot each other an unsure glance, then enter the motorhome.
Oh, hey. Did you finally manage to make some friends?
Blow it out your ass, slacker.
It's just as big and expansive on the inside, making my RV look like a toilet in comparison. Oops. It's definitely a luxury class, unlike my Class C. Or at least it would be a luxury motorhome if not for the seemingly random decor. The walls is littered with posters of ska bands, the worst genre of music. Even weirder are the license plates scattered everywhere, some in boxes, some on the table, and some strung together like a wind chime. Beanbag in the corner and bottles of empty beer and liquor cast off on the ground. The place looks more like a frat pad than a base. An impression further aided by the guy sprawled out on the couch, his head wrapped in a bandana like Mariah's.
Someone's feisty today. No luck with the treasure, I take it?
Yeah, no thanks to you.
Hey now, me and Tess were holding down the fort. That's a very important job.
He gestures at the cot above him, a hollow space under some cabinets. It looks like a row of cupboards used to be there and were stripped out to make room for it. Lying on top of it is the little girl facing the other direction, fiddling with something I can't make out. She's wearing another identical bandana.
Isn't that right, Tess?
Oh, she's so cute! Tess gives a barely existent nod and then continues tinkering.
See, what did I tell you?
Has she been like this the entire time?
Yep. She hasn't moved since you left this morning. It's kind of sad.
kind of sad.
Please. Don't think I haven't noticed you were on that couch when I left.
Guilty as charged.
Taking it slow. I clear my throat, reminding them of our presence.
Oh, right. This is my team. The lug who's become...
Oops. The lug who's become one on the couch. One with the couch is Joseph, and the squirt is my kid sister Tess.
Joe, Tess, this is Alyssa and Melina.
No. Amber and Marina.
Amber and Marina.
Whatever.
They're both stones.
They are looking for the treasure too.
Hey there, ladies.
I can only hope the highly trained elite team are hidden in the bathroom.
Hey, I'm Marina. It's really nice to meet you.
Oh my god, Marina. Marina jumped in front of me, taking hold of the conversation by its throat.
The other girl is Amber. Say hi, Amber.
Oh my god.
Hi.
Don't mind her. She's just grumpy.
I'm not grumpy.
You sound pretty grumpy to me.
I groan and start muttering nonsense under my breath. Didn't think being a realist would make me grumpy.
She doesn't think the treasure exists.
Uh-oh, Mariah, we've got a non-believer in our midst.
Why do they keep saying that?
Why do you think I brought her here?
If you think you'll be able to convince me that this treasure is real, then fine. But you have another thing coming.
Come on, where's your sense of adventure?
Back in my motorhome. We can take you and your sense of adventure back to Carlsbad if you want.
No thanks.
Carlsbad? California?
New Mexico.
New Mexico. Rolling her eyes, Mariah walks over to a drawer. From inside, she pulls out something wrapped in cloth and brings it over to me.
Go ahead. Take a peek.
Take a peek. Her smirk reappears, curling across her face as if this were a game and there's no way she could lose. Hesitant, I bring my hand to the rag and unwrap it.
What? No, wait. Is this?
That's right.
That's right. Lying swaddled in the cloth is a yellow nugget. What does it keep saying? It keeps saying that somebody's thoughts are changing. What does that mean? Oh my gosh, is this like... This is our postcards. We make the postcards. Goes all the way across. Take a rest. Equinox is the song. That's cool. We should probably save. We haven't saved at all yet. Welcome to Shiprock. Lying swaddled in the cloth is a yellow nugget. Give it a squeeze. It's soft. Definitely not a piece of pyrite.
It's gold!
But how?
You know the miner who hid the treasure? That's Joseph's great-great-uncle.
You're lying.
I can testify for that. It's true.
This thing is a family heirloom.
More like it was lying forgotten in my basement until we stumbled across it as kids.
After that, I heard great tales of the miner and his hidden treasure.
She went to the library and found old newspaper clippings making fun of him.
Then, I made it my life's goal to find his treasure.
She's been obsessed with it ever since.
How long has that
Hell.
been?
That's a load. I saw you at the store yesterday. If you knew so much about the treasure, then why did you have to buy one of those journals?
Another side of my family probably got the journal after he kicked it. We didn't hear about it until everyone else did.
This doesn't prove anything.
Mariah shoots me a scowl, similar to the look she gave to the clerk yesterday.
What are you trying to say?
Sis,
Tess finally moves, hopping down from her cot, another license plate wind chime in her hand. The plates keep clanking together as she runs over to Mariah.
I finished it.
She says this without a hint of emotion, her eyes in a constant half-open state. It's kind of unsettling.
How many is that now? 44?
45.
45. Marina bends down to Tessa's level and greets her.
Oh, are you collecting license plates? Uh-huh. I only have 5 more until I have all 50 states.
That's so cute.
And what state do you have there? New Mexico.
Her voice and expression don't change, still as dry as the desert air. Mariah scoffs.
At least yesterday wasn't a complete waste of time. That junker was a piece of crap.
Wait a second.
All the parts were rustier than my ass.
Oops. Even the scrap metal wasn't worth it.
Just be thankful we found it. We'd be busted if I hadn't salvaged the good bits. Besides, that money is going to keep us from starving.
I look at Marina, but she doesn't seem to have put it together.
About that car you found. That wasn't outside Roswell, was it?
Marina's eyes go wide, realization finally penetrating her skull.
Yeah, not too far from the store. What do you care?
I can feel my blood begin to boil. Marina can feel it too.
Amber?
Every part of me is shaking. I struggle to spit out the words.
Her car was stolen outside of Roswell yesterday. It was out of gas, so we went to get some.
Oh, God. Joseph is the next to realize it, followed by Tess.
Oh, crap.
So?
I can't hold it in anymore. Sorry, Marina.
So? You stole her car and dismantled it!
Yeah. Joseph jumps off the couch and apologetically bows repeatedly, all in one swift motion. Each bow makes me a little bit angrier.
Joey said it was okay.
I thought it was! Mariah gave the go-ahead!
You told them it was alright?
Yeah, so? It's your own fault for leaving it out there.
How? How on earth is it our fault that it broke down?
You know,
Oh, poor Mariah.
finders, keepers.
Oh, God, that's not an excuse.
It's a freaking car!
Oh, poor Tess. Tess tugs on my shirt.
What?
I don't mean to, but the word snaps out of my mouth. The tiny girl shrinks away. Alright, Amber, just calm down. We can talk this out.
Here.
She holds out the wind chime made of Marina's license plate, her eyes cast downwards.
You can have it.
Never mind, calming down isn't gonna happen. A hand grasps my shoulder. I turn to Marina. She shakes her head and smiles.
Amber, it's okay.
It's not okay, though. They stole your car.
But
Really, it's fine.
It's not fine. They stole your car. They're thieves. She bends back down to Tess and smiles reassuringly.
You can go ahead and keep it, sweetie.
The trio, Mariah included, are taken aback by Marina's saint-like action.
Don't worry, guys. It's fine.
Thieves! Joseph breathes a sigh of relief.
Oh, God. Thank you so much. We're all really sorry about this. Right, Mariah?
Joseph's voice actor is really good, too.
Yeah, I guess.
About as fed up with this as I am, Joseph shoots her a glare and smacks her on the back of the head.
Ow! Alright, I'm sorry and stuff.
Marina, are you sure? They destroyed your car.
They did destroy your car.
Yeah,
What about your
but
phone?
It was pretty run down anyway.
You're unreal. You know that?
Oh my God, Marina. Just so
Anyway,
unreal.
we should head out now. We have a few things to take care of.
Thanks for showing us the gold. Now I'm sure the treasure's real.
No problem, ladies. Again, really sorry for all the trouble. If there's anything we can do for you, just give us a shout.
Sure thing.
We head for the door, but Marina turns around before stepping outside.
By the way, was there a phone in the car?
The pink case, eh?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh my God.
We kind of sold that too.
Oh, I was like, wait a second, what happened? Alright, I think that's where we're going to end it for today, guys. Thanks for joining me for our first run through of... Yes, I want to override the save. Our first run through of Highway Blossoms. And I will see you guys next time. Tuesday we'll be playing Costume Quest, and then Thursday we have more Okami to play, and then Friday we'll be playing Highway Blossoms again. So join me next week, guys, for all the fun games that we're gonna play. Alright, thanks for joining me. See you later. Bye.